Um, Hi, we're having just a little difficulty with joining the Zoom. Ms. Bajur is attempting to join, but it's not getting access. There she is. Oh, look, can you hear me, Kristen? Okay, looks like they're still on break. So,
Testing one. There we go. Okay. This is item 12, just to be sure. Yep.
oh,
Everybody back unless we also have our institutional representatives available. So we're going on to item 12. But before we do that, I want to just acknowledge for item 5, for the professional school nurse program, we had LAUSD is one of the programs that we were discussing, and member Leggett, just to acknowledge that she had recused herself from that item. So it didn't impact at all our discussion, but I just wanted to acknowledge that for the record. Right. Item 12 is a discussion of the first quarterly report for Alameda County Office of Education. Consultants Hart Boyd and Dr. Timothy Weeks will present this item. They are joined by institutional representatives Kristen Bijur, Chief of Educator Effectiveness, and Derek Gorshow, Program Director of Credentials. Anyone need to recuse himself? I see none. Dr. Weeks or Dr. Boyd, or whoever would like to begin. Dr. Weeks, you may begin.
Okay. Good morning, committee members. Item 12 presents the Alameda County Office of Education's first quarterly report, or ACOE. ACOE operates a clear administrative services program and a designated subjects career technical education CTE program. They hosted a site visit last December, and the accreditation site visit team was presented to the COA in a January meeting with a report. And at this meeting, the COA took action to set the accreditation status to accreditation with major stipulations. One of these stipulations requires ACOE to provide quarterly reports. This item presents the first of these reports. A link to ACOE's first quarterly report, the full report, can be found in their quarterly reports section on their accreditation webpage and is linked at the top of this item on page 1. A link to the site visits accreditation report, as reported in January, is also linked on this page. On pages 1 and 2 of this item are the 8 stipulations that ACOE is required to address through these quarterly reports. You may recall that the accreditation site visit team noted specific concerns related to, and I'll list them out, formal collaboration with partner organizations, formalized system of assessment and continuous improvement, recruiting, training, and assigning support providers, providing early orientation to CTE candidates, and providing CTE candidates with instruction related to the candidates' use of computer-based technology and strategies for teaching special populations, including students with exceptional needs, students on behavior plans, gifted and talented students, and English language learners. Since this is the first quarterly report, much of the information that you see will be focused on their plans to address the stipulations, and any other actions that have been taken since January have also been included. I will now turn the presentation over to the institutional representatives, Derek Goshaw and Kristen Bijur, to briefly comment on and answer any questions you may have about this report.
Well, thank you for the opportunity to support us in growing our programs. I think we've made some immediate concrete steps to impact our programs and support the candidates in them. And we look forward to our growth in the next quarter. We expect to really expand our support and the implementation of changes, including coaches for the CTE program and continuous improvement.
I'll just add that as Dr. Weeks was reviewing the stipulations, I was thinking, oh yeah, we did that too. Oh yeah, we're working on that too. Oh yeah, we're working on that one too. So I'm excited that we're making progress, and I'm looking forward to hearing the committee's feedback on whether we're on the right track or if there's ways that we should shift course as we address the major stipulations. Thank you for your review and attention to our programs.
Thank you. And thank you both for your comments. Any committee members wish to offer any comment or question? Member Hillis. I'm sorry, Hallis.
Good morning. I appreciate, the systematic way you're tackling all of these stipulations. I was just wondering if you could talk a little bit about candidate voice and how you're gauging their input in making some changes moving forward.
Yeah, well, we'll be conducting an end of the year survey of the candidates in both the CTE and CASC programs. That's coming up once we kind of come to the close with the CASC program this coming month or this month. We'll follow up and see where we can capture data and see where we can make some changes next year. We intend to implement some dipstick surveys at the beginning of next year, and then also collect data at the end of the year of the following year to see what kind of change we've made and what types of modifications should make in the future. Tristan, do you have something more that you'd like to add to that?
Yeah, we're actually making very significant changes to the sort of design of the Clear Admin Services Credential Program. And so we've just met with, the coaches and gotten their feedback about the changes to the program, and have a meeting scheduled to meet with the candidates while they won't be affected by these changes because many of them are exiting, and the people who are moving to year 2 will continue to have a more similar version to the one that they have experienced so far, the one they signed up for. But we're interested in their input on some of the redesign strategies.
Thank you. Yeah, I would just encourage any of the committees or different things you're putting together to make sure you have candidate participation, even completers, just because, they're the experts who went through it. So great job.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any other comments or questions from committee members? And before we entertain a motion, are there any members of the public who wish to offer any comments? Okay, seeing none. So this is an action item. Is there a motion to accept the report from the Alameda County Office of Education? Member Hallis.
I move that we accept the report, first quarterly report from the Alameda County Office of Education.
Thank you. So moved. And Member Morrison, did you wish to second? Yes, second by Member Morrison. Any further discussion? All in favor, please say aye. All opposed? All right, motion carries. So thank you and congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for joining us, Ms. Bizur,
Thank
Mr.
you all.
Gosho, and Mr. Boyd and Dr. Weeks. Thank you. That's what I was going to say. Do we have any members from the 11th? Okay, at that point, we're going to jump ahead for staff reports, which was planned for this afternoon. And that was, double check the item number, item 24, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, item 24 was staff reports. So we're going to do that at this point. So Ms. Hickey, when you're ready, please begin.
Yeah, sure. And David, you probably have something you want to tell the committee. I'm not sure. We haven't had a chance to talk. So I just want, I'm surprising David. David's ready anytime. I feel like you're busy, right? No. I just want to say that your next meeting will be in our new building. It's drastically different than this building. In I think all kinds of positive ways. The big drawback though at the moment is that the food options are going to be pretty limited. So we're going to have to actually probably order food in for that meeting, but more details to come. But really a lot of I know you're all going to miss Jack's. I understand that. But our building is this agency takes up one full floor, the 5th floor. You will have badges that we are hoping to get to you today, that will not give you access to our floor, but will give you access to the meeting room that's open to the public. But there are many meeting rooms there, many meeting rooms. There's also a 300-person auditorium, which is very nice. But the meeting room I think that we're going to try is the same one that the commission is going to be in, and it's got wonderful sunlight, lots of windows, so that's really nice. A nice view of downtown. But it'll be good. But you all will be the guinea pigs before the commission meeting in terms of the tech. So we need to learn how to use the tech in the room, the microphones, all of that. So that'll be new for us. So please be patient with us because
We get to initiate.
you get to initiate it. Yes, we're finding out where all the bugs are before the commission meeting. But and I think it's going to be a nice building, I think. But we share it's a 4-office complex. You will have to pay for parking, but I am assuming we are reimbursing for parking. Yes, it's $8 a day. And I don't know, any more on that? You got both of you? No? Okay.
Maybe just kind of review the location for those who want to make hotel reservations.
Yes. How is hotel going to be handled? Some of these we haven't even thought about yet.
It's on like 7th and Richards, and so we're going to be exploring the options for you all,
Mhm.
and what the best accommodations would be.
Mhm.
It's only about a mile from here.
Yeah.
Believe it or not.
Far. It's
It's
not
a
far.
mile closer. It's a mile closer to the airport.
Mhm.
But yeah, so in terms of where you stay, it may not make much of a difference because it's only an extra mile. So, but we'll let you know if you have any questions. Please do. I know that some of you still kind of struggle to check your CTC email or to have access to it, but please make a an extra concerted effort to do that between now and then, because if there's any updates about logistics and things like that, we'll be sending it to those emails. So thank you.
Do we know if it's a 1-day or a 2-day meeting?
I'm trying to figure that out right now, but it's probably 2. Probably likely will be 1.5. Yeah. Mhm. So that meeting, that building will be our first use of that. And again, like I said, you'll go into the lobby, check into the lobby, and the room that we'll probably be in is called the multipurpose center. It's within there. There's many meeting rooms. There is a coffee kiosk. It's actually not a kiosk. It's actually a cafe in the building. So in the future, you'll be able to get the coffee right from there. And there's many places for us to make coffee. So the only difference is that it probably won't be open for our June meeting. They're still kind of working on it. So for a June meeting is going to be a little bit, we'll let you know if you need to get coffee before you get to the building. We know that's important for a long day. And anyways, David, take it away.
So when I come and talk to you, I usually talk about literacy, and I don't want to disappoint you. The ongoing implementation of Senate Bill 488. So last week we opened up the window for programs to submit their documentation for certification. Yes, according to the PSA we shared in February. We are also have at least 40 people now who have expressed interest in becoming reviewers to help us with that. And we're putting together some training so that everyone has at least the same base level to understand what we're going to be looking for. So programs have until the beginning of October to submit their documentation. And we're trying to schedule some technical assistance with Nancy Brennelson from the California Department of Education, the co-state director of literacy for CDE, who also worked with us to develop the standards and TPEs. And then I want to give you updates on 2 pieces of legislation. One is Assembly Bill 2222, which is focused on the science of reading. So this is really a bill follow up on SB 488 and add some depth it proposed to add some depth to our review in literacy and proposed giving us some additional positions. That bill also included a lot regarding PK-12 or TK-12, especially regarding materials because of the state's budget situation, that bill has been tabled. But the Speaker of the Assembly said it will come back in some form next year. The other bill that is still in play is SB 1263, which would remove the TPA requirement, remove the certification process, remove the TPA requirement for the intern early completion option. That one passed out of the Senate Education Committee and the Senate Appropriations Committee. If it passes the entire Senate, it will go to Assembly, I think starting Assembly Education sometime in June.
Isn't then been put on suspense? I thought it was put on suspense this week.
It may have been.
I think it was on Monday. Yeah, you can look that up. 1263, right? SB 12. I can never remember if it's SB or AB.
Just a quick question. Thank you, David. Regarding the TPA. So if this passes, it would then remove the TPA as a requirement for?
Yes, it would remove the TPA as a requirement. And as you know, SB 48, one of the big things was moving from RECA to a performance assessment of literacy instruction. So if that bill passes, there is a good chance that we will be using RECA longer.
Got it. And does it impact the Ed TPA to any degree? Okay.
It's the performance assessment required for all candidates.
Okay, I just thought such my clear.
Yes, it was put on suspense, and that means that the legislature gets to decide what they pull off suspense and what they move forward.
So given that the second cycle of the TPA or Cal TPA is like you're saying that we probably use RECA, but RECA is not updated enough. Literacy stuff.
It's what's in statute. It's what's in statute.
It's what remains in statute. And so that was one of the things that was part of our agency's analysis to the legislature, was that we really think it would cost around $2 million to update RECA, because RECA would need to be updated to bring it into alignment with SB 488.
So for all of the programs listening who have candidates who are either saying out loud or you can see them thinking, if I just wait, TPA will go away and RECA will go away, and there will be some exam for reading instruction competency, and it's either going to be RECA or it's going to be the LPA. So I know this is probably an old message, but if candidates can just get out there and take that RECA, it would really behoove them to do it. And as a reminder, there is still an exam fee waiver in place so long as they register for the RECA by midnight on June 30th. They then have a year to take the exam for free. So just an added incentive there, but it's not going away. I know they keep saying it's going to. It's not.
Possibility that we keep the LPA that has been developed. I'm sorry.
It's not clear at this time.
I'm just curious. Moving parts.
There are so many moving parts. Yes.
Yep. That is very true. Anything else, David?
That's it.
I just want to mention that our last 3 site visits are completed as of this week. So for this season, yay, and really remarkable staff and all the reviewers that have been involved this past year. We need to work on next year's schedule of meetings for you. We usually bring that in June. I'm not sure we'll be able to do that in June. We might want to wait till the August meeting, only because we have to kind of work out the rest of the certification process and how much you need to meet, and how, so it's still in development in terms of next year's schedule. So just so you know, but if we can bring it back in June, we will bring it back. If we have enough answers, we'll bring it back in June. And then let's see, I don't think there's a whole lot more, but Kara, do you have an update on any grants that you'd like to update on?
Good morning, everyone. My only update is on the diverse educator leaders pipeline initiative. Our applications were due, I forget, but in April. However, we will be announcing next Friday, a week from tomorrow, May 10th. I will say this. We had 31 applications for $10 million. It was a very, very competitive grant application. So there will be some disappointed friends in the field. I apologize for that. And there'll be some happy friends in the field. And I'm yay for that. So that's where we are with Delpi. Otherwise, all other grant applications and RFAs are closed for this fiscal year, and we will do our best to, communicate to the field when and if others open for next fiscal year. So we're just kind of waiting on everything. So that's where we are.
And Erin, anything else?
No, I don't have anything at this, with site visits ending and common standards reviews coming to a close and all of that. We're operationally for accreditation timelines, we're good. And we'll be diving deeply into certification very shortly.
I don't know whether you can answer. Maybe I should know this. Maybe I missed it. But when we were talking about the early childhood potential PK3, it's very exciting. Is there a time when you will? I know the people who have the multiple subjects are going to be grandfathered in. Well, at what point will you need to have that credential to get a job?
David, what is that timeline? Because it keeps changing. The timeline for the 24 units of early childhood education that for the apportionment, that I know that timeline keeps moving a little bit. Is it 2020?
I think it got pushed back to 2027 or 2028, but we could check that and get that to you.
So the multiple subjects still covers TK, and it always will. It's the apportionment dollars that is what's causing the issue for the 24 units. So, and that did kept moving. I think this is the third time it's moved. We do have just one more thing. We do have a number of PK3 proposals in the mix. I think we have well over 2025, something like that. So we're working our way through them all. The IPR team is working incredibly hard trying to get those back. So yes, there are many more coming. And so you'll see lots of those, hopefully. And Rosemary has 19 are in the review process right now and 9 are intense. Thank you, Rosemary. Yes.
Consider food court in this new building.
There will be a food court in this new building. However, the weird thing, and it kind of feels like a college campus. It's a big, large food court area with many different options. So you'll be able to go to have lunch there. The problem is that because it needs to be contracted as a whole, there are fewer people who want to contract for a whole large system like that. So that probably won't be up and running for a while yet.
Okay.
I would, since I mentioned certification and I just double checked with staff, the certification submission opening, I guess, opened actually last Friday, April 26th, and closes on October 4th. If anyone's listening, October 4th. And we've been doing, like every other week, we've been doing office hours to talk to programs about that, let them ask questions, et cetera. And so since last Friday, we've received only one submission so far for certification, and that's fine. We've really encouraged programs to take their time, ask all the questions. Again, I guess I always have some silly statement to say, but I told folks in office hours, you don't get extra points for being the first one in. So take your time and submit when you think you're ready. And it seems like programs are kind of taking their time with that, which is great.
Just mention programs. Every time we meet, I'm more and more aware of the support that the staff has here. And so one thing we're hearing that's universal is that, just for those who are listening, working on your reports, reach out to the staff here. They're always here and available to help out. And it's much better to reach out now than to try to go back and redo. So I'll just really encourage you to do that, because it is a supportive entity. That's the whole idea. Right, we are ready, I believe, for item 13, which is the discussion of the seventh year report for the University of San Francisco. Do we have representatives from San Francisco with us? Okay, great. So Consultant Dr. Timothy Weeks will present the item. They are joined by the institutional representatives, Dr. Shabnam Koirala Azad, Dean, School of Education, Dr. Whitney L. Garrett Walker, Assistant Dean of Credential Programs and District Partnerships, and Laura Hannenman, Director of Effectiveness, Strategy, and Assessment. Does anyone need to recuse himself? Seeing none, Dr. Weeks, will you please begin?
Sure, thank you. Good morning again, committee members. Item 13 presents the University of San Francisco, or USF, 7th year report. University of San Francisco hosted an accreditation site visit from March 26th to 29th in 2023, and the site visit report was presented at the May 2023 COA meeting. At this meeting, the COA took action to set the accreditation status of accreditation. As part of the accreditation decision, the COA also required the institution to provide a 7th year report. A link to the site visit team accreditation report as presented in May 2023 is linked in this item. In addition, there's also a link to the 7th year report from the USF, which can be found in a section labeled under 2024 institutional response. On page 1 of this item, you will find the topic to be addressed as related to Common Standard 3, field work and clinical practice, which was met with concerns. The accreditation site visit team noted the following specific concerns related to Common Standard 3, and I'll list them out. Mainly, there was a concern with inconsistencies related to the way site-based supervisors are trained in supervision, oriented to the supervisory role, and evaluated and recognized in a systematic manner. More specifically, it was supported by limited or no evidence across all programs that site-based and supervisors are successfully completed the mandatory training and orientation. There is also limited or no evidence to support that the evaluative feedback is communicated to site-based supervisors in a systematic manner. And also during interviews, it was indicated that stipends are provided to some site-based supervisors as a form of recognition. However, it is not clear what other forms are used more uniformly. So I'd now like to turn this presentation over to the institutional representatives, Dr. Shabnam Koirala Azad, Dr. Whitney L. Garrett Walker, and Laura Hannenman to briefly comment on and answer any questions you may have about this report.
Thank you so much. We have taken the feedback that we got from our site visit very seriously, and I hope that that comes through in the report. We appreciate this opportunity as well. Thank you all, and I'll pass it on to Laura Hannenman to see if there are any additional comments.
Yeah, I just want to take the opportunity to again thank our review team for this really helpful and thoughtful feedback. We've taken it as a way to really think more thoughtfully around how we're supporting our district supervisors and integrating them into our program and create even more alignment across our programs. So we have great practices in some of our programs, for example, PPS and mild moderate programs, and aligning that with our single subject and multiple subject practices. So it's been a great space to brainstorm, pick out best practices, and as I said, create alignment. So we're grateful for that.
Thank you. Any further comments from the institution at all? Okay, any opportunity for now members of the public to offer any comment? I seeing none. Opportunity for committee members to offer any question or comment. Co-Chair McKee.
Just one question, just for some added clarification. I was unable to open the document that shows the form responses where I guess mentors or coaches will go in and do a self-selected orientation. So my question is, if it's a mandatory training and orientation, how is that self-selected if it's mandatory? Like what is that process?
So it's self-selected in that we have a variety of resources there, and professional development resources for them to look at. We take into account conversations around what their prior professional development has been. We want to have a focus on not asking the district supervisors to recreate professional development that they've already done. And so one thing that we took this feedback on in order to be more systematic around is reviewing the form that we have that says which particular parts of the PD they've participated in, what their past PD has been, and having the fieldwork coordinator ensure that they're following up with them. So hopefully that answers your question, and if not, let me know.
I guess just a wondering if there's an orientation for your program, is there another means by which they're oriented if they're self-selecting their orientation? I think that's the part I was unclear on, is how is a mandatory orientation able to be self-selected from your own professional development? And if I'm misunderstanding, I apologize, but I couldn't create that connection when I was reviewing the documents.
So it's mandatory that and you'll have to forgive me because I'm speaking as best I can for our fieldwork coordinators, who perhaps we should have had here as well, who can speak more to the specifics of it. But my understanding is that it's mandatory to participate in the orientation, and there are particular parts, and I'm so sorry you weren't able to go in and see the page, because that would have been so much more illustrative, so you understand what we're trying to talk about. But when you go into the orientation, there are some required parts, and then there are some parts that are self-selecting, and then together those make up the entirety of the orientation. And so perhaps our language was unclear about that, but so it's both mandatory and self-selecting in that way, in that there's portions that are mandatory. The entire orientation is mandatory, but there are particular parts that are self-selecting, which we have found really important in order to honor our district supervisors' times and what would be most valuable for them.
No, that makes perfect sense. And it sounds like just that menu of options. For example, if they already went through, I'm throwing out a cognitive coaching training, you're not going to go make them go through cognitive coaching again. They would then say, oh, I've already had this training, and then you honor that. Do I have that kind of a correct summary on that?
Correct. And you said that probably more clearly than I did, but yes, absolutely.
No worries, but thank you for the clarification.
Thank you. Any further comments or questions from committee members? I see none. This is an action item. Is there a motion? Member Morrison.
I move to accept the 7th year report from the University of San Francisco.
Thank you. So moved. Is there a second? Second by Member Cracia. Any further discussion? All in favor, please say aye. All opposed? All right, motion carries. Thank you, Dr. Carla Azad, Dr. Garrett Walker, Ms. Hanneman, and Dr. Weeks. Thank you all.
Thank you all so much. We really, really appreciate this. And like we said, we're all about continuous refinement. So we'll continue on this path. Thank you for your time.
Yeah, thank you for your continued ongoing work. Thank you. Item 14 is a report of the site visit team to Palmdale School District. Consultant Dr. Frances Kellar will present the item, and joining her today is team lead Hans Kaufold and institutional representative Dr. Joe Bradford, coordinator for teacher support. Do we have all entities present? Okay. In the meantime, are there any recusals? All right. For the record, there are no recusals. There we go. Okay, we have everybody here. So Dr. Kellar, will you please begin?
Yes, thank you so much. Good morning, committee members. It is my pleasure to present the report from the Palmdale School District Teacher Induction Program site visit that was conducted on April 6th through the 8th. We were able to successfully conduct this visit virtually and the protocols for this visit were all in accordance with normal procedures for a virtual site visit. At this time, I'd like to thank the Palmdale School District representatives, including their coordinator of teacher support, Dr. Jill Bradford, who oversees the program, for all the work that the team did to prepare for the visit and for being so proactive and collaborative throughout the process in the months leading up to it. I'd also like to extend my deep appreciation and gratitude for the wonderful work of our site team members, led by Mr. William Caulfield, Patricia Childs, and Tanya Almeida. The site team's deep knowledge of accreditation and new teachers support, specifically for induction, combined with their understanding of broader educator development, was a tremendous asset, and it makes it a joy to learn with and from them all through this visit. I'll now turn it over to Mr. Caulfield to report on the visit and its findings.
Good morning. Hans Caulfield, induction specialist for Riverside Unified School District and team lead on the site accreditation for Palmdale School District induction program. So I wanted to spend just a second also thanking people that made the visit possible. Just speak briefly about the team I worked with and acknowledge their professionalism, expertise throughout the process. Our program reviewer, Patricia Childs, and Common Standards reviewer, Tanya Almeida. Both of them demonstrated thoughtfulness and dedication to the process. In addition, Dr. Kellar, our CTC consultant assigned to the site visit, provided the team with guidance and insight required to hold the accreditation process to the highest standard. And finally, to the program leaders of the Palmdale School District induction program, Dr. Jill Bradford, along with her colleagues throughout instruction and across the district. They've created a multi-tiered, layered support for novice teachers in their district, not unlike those that are provided for our students to be successful. So I would like to spend just a moment giving some insight into the visit that may not be in the report itself, but there were some trends that emerged. One trend that emerged from the visit was that the desire and willingness to meet the needs of all novice teachers, even if it means reimagining traditional deliveries. One example was the professional development and mentoring support. The team, through interviews and documents, discovered a process called pop-up professional development that's offered to candidates to relevant topics that support the CSTPs every month. And when the team asked the candidates about the expectation for attendance, the reply was just a genuine, I'm not sure, but I wouldn't want to miss it. I mean, the information is so valuable. Why would you not be there? So just the intrinsic desire to learn the information and the feeling that everything provided through the induction program was exactly what they needed when they needed it. Another is the program's emphasis on using data to inform accurate reflection of teaching practice and student achievement. It's clear that the Palmdale School District induction program acts in accordance with one of their core values, which is to be a humanistic induction program. One in which meets the needs of the candidates without it feeling like a burden or extra work. And this approach was evident in how the international induction teacher cohort was seamlessly and humanistically woven into their original program. Although highly individualized, the international cohort's experience includes all aspects of the induction program, but also met the humanistic needs of the teachers coming from a different country into the United States and specifically Southern California. A highlight of the site visit was the opportunity to interview the educational partners. It's clear that across the district, teacher support and student achievement is prioritized. Thank you for allowing me to share a few trends that the team identified. I could talk all morning, but I know I need to keep it brief. But at this time, I would like to share the findings and recommendation of the team. So for the report of findings for program standards, all program standards for Palmdale School District induction program were found to be met. Common standards, all common standards for Palmdale School District induction program were found to be met. And our overall recommendation, based on the fact that the team found that all standards for the teacher induction program were met and that all common standards were met, the team recommends accreditation. And then at this time, I welcome any questions from the committee regarding the visit.
Great. Thank you both, Dr. Killar and Mr. Kaufhold. At this point, we're going to invite institutional representatives to briefly comment about the visit. We remind you it's not a time to dispute the team's report, but rather provide any thoughts that you may have about the visit itself.
Thank you. I'm Dr. Jill Bradford. I'm the coordinator of new teacher support here in the Palmdale School District. And I'd just like to sincerely extend gratitude to our review team. As was said by both members of the team, by Mr. Kaufhold and Dr. Keller, it was a real joy to work with them. It was an opportunity to be reflective about our practice and to, hear further from our various stakeholders about how we can continue to grow in service of them. And we're very grateful for the feedback of the committee and just overall for the time that we spent with them. Their inspiration in the as shared practitioners in the field of supporting new teachers. And so overall, we're very grateful.
Okay, thank you. We now have opportunity for public comment. Any member of the public wish to offer comment? Nope, seeing none. Any questions or comments from committee members? Member Morrison.
Hey, good morning. I was fascinated by the bit about your international teachers, and I just could you just explain a little bit more about that? Where these teachers come from, and what I was wondering, are these teachers who come here and to work in America, work in your district because you're short of teachers there, or do you train them and then they go off back home? I wasn't clear what that was about.
I'm happy to describe. We have a shortage right now of teachers in the Antelope Valley. We're in the high desert northeast of Los Angeles, though we are part of LA County, and we're experiencing a prominent teacher shortage for filling positions. We worked with 2 different international placement agencies, and we're able to secure contracts with approximately 35 experienced veteran teachers from the Philippines who came and joined us after Thanksgiving, through January to fill open vacancies for the current school year. So it was a real creative endeavor to meet the teachers where they were at, to acknowledge their strengths as veteran teachers in their field in the rural Philippines, where many of them had been teaching for at least a decade, and to leverage their strengths and experience in a way that helped them acclimate, to the United States, to California, to the Mojave Desert, to teaching middle school students, in that environment, and to the induction process. And so we created a dish, sort of as you heard described, we onboarded them in the best way that we endeavored to. So that was the process.
Thanks. And does your office organize all the visas and all the immigration paperwork for these teachers as well?
We were very fortunate in my particular department not to have that responsibility. We were here for instructional support and mentoring and coaching and induction. Only the HR department in our district worked with the international placement agencies, and the majority of the legalities were organized by the placement agencies themselves.
Fascinating. Thank you.
Thank you.
Great. Thank you both. Any further comments or questions on committee members? All right, seeing none, this is an action item. Is there a motion? Member Hallis.
I move we accept the report and the recommendation of accreditation for the Palmdale School District.
Okay, so moved. Is there a second? Second by Member Hillis. Any further discussion? All in favor, please say aye. All opposed? All right, motion carries unanimously. Congratulations. Yeah, well done.
Thank you,
Dr. Bradford. Yeah, thank you. And very creative. We're hearing some comments on the table. So yeah, very nice way of dealing with that. So again, thank you, Dr. Bradford, Ms. Kaufhold, and Dr. Keller. Thank you. We are just waiting right now. We have next one is item 15, and we are running a bit ahead of schedule. So we'll see if we have those individuals available. So we have two. Okay.
She was listed as one of the representatives. Maybe she just didn't make it, but I know Nicole and Ashley are the primary.
So those who are watching, we're just waiting for one more. So we're not going to take a break. We're just going to sit and read through notes until we have the last person joining us.
And we can take Francis off of the, sorry, Francis, there you go.
Good morning, Nicole and Ashley. Do you know if Clara is going to be able to join?
Yes, she's attempting to log on now, so it should be
Okay,
any moment.
no
We probably
problem.
just started.
No problem. No, we can wait for her. Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
Here we go.
All right, we have all representatives present. So we're going to look at item 15. It's the report of actions taken by Stella Middle Charter Academy to address the stipulations. Dr. Timothy Weeks will present the item. He is joined by institutional representatives Nicole Wellman-Noble, Vice President of People Development, Ashley Colburn, Director of Teacher Induction and Development, and Clara, is it Garay or Garay?
Garay.
Garay. Thank you. Clara Garay, Assistant Director of, you're welcome, of Teacher Induction and Development. Does anyone need to recuse himself? All right, seeing none, Dr. Weeks, will you please begin?
Good morning again, committee members. Item 15 presents the Stella Middle Charter Academy 7th year report, or SMCA. SMCA hosted a provisional accreditation site visit on March 5th through 7th of 2023, and the site visit report was presented at the May 2023 COA meeting. At this meeting, the COA took action to grant an accreditation status of accreditation with stipulations. As part of the accreditation decision, the COA required that the institution provide a 6-month and a 7th year report. The 6-month report was presented at the January 2024 COA meeting. A link to the site visit accreditation report as presented in May 2023 is linked in this item, as well as links to SMCA's 6-month report. On page 1 of this item, you will find the topics to be addressed in the 7th year report, which are related to the team's concerns with Common Standard 2, candidate recruitment and support, and Program Standard 5, determining candidate competency for the clear credential recommendation. The specific stipulations to be addressed included requirements that the institution provide evidence of, number 1, a clearly defined process to identify and support candidates who need additional assistance to meet competencies, and number 2, a clearly documented process for candidates to repeat portions of the program as needed. I will now summarize the actions taken by Stella Middle Charter Academy to address these stipulations since March of 2023. Stipulation number 1, the institution must provide evidence of a clearly defined process to identify and support candidates who need additional assistance to meet competencies. This stipulation was addressed by SMCA through the development of their checkpoint system. 4 times a year, candidates are assessed on a series of program milestones to ensure they are on track to complete the program in the allotted time. At each checkpoint, candidates who are found to be missing program requirements may be placed on the Collaborative Support Plan, or CSP. The Collaborative Support Plan is developed in consultation with the candidate. their mentor, and the Director of Teacher Induction and Development. So far, this checkpoint system has been successful in keeping candidates on track to completing the program on schedule. And during the most recent checkpoint in mid-April 2024, 87% of the candidates met program milestones, and one candidate was placed on a collaborative support plan due to a lack of progress. A description of this checkpoint process was also added in the program overview section of the 2023 handbook for candidates and mentors at the institution. Second stipulation, the institution must provide evidence of a clear documented procedures for candidates to repeat portions of the program as needed. This stipulation was addressed partially through the implementation of the checkpoint program. Through this system, candidates are flagged for additional support before coming at risk of not completing some portion of the program and subsequently needing to retake it. Nevertheless, there have been situations where the need has arisen, and to address such cases, SMC has developed a Program Extension Completion Plan, or the PECP, designed to support and monitor the progress of candidates who need to repeat some portion of the program. As reported in their 6-month report, the Program Extension Completion Plan was used in the fall of 2023 to support a candidate in successfully repeating a portion of the program and subsequently being recommended for the clear credential. Since that time, no other candidates had needed to be placed on the Program Extension Completion Plan, and the recommendation from staff is that the stipulations be removed and that the accreditation status for the institution be changed to accreditation from accreditation with stipulations. And I will now turn the presentation over to the institutional representatives, Nicole Noble, who is the Vice President of People Development, Ashley Colburn, Director of Teacher Induction and Development, and Clara Gara, who is the Assistant Director of Teacher Induction and Development, to briefly comment on the report and answer any questions you may have.
Yeah, thank you, Timothy. Thank you again for having us today. There's not too many updates since the 6-month report when we were in front of you in January. We've just been diligently maintaining the systems that we put in place, which have been super supportive, this formal way of checking progress. It's definitely improved our program. So we've just been maintaining the checkpoints, the different support systems we put in place. And so, yeah, we just want to express our gratitude again for this like growth focused process, and want to appreciate Timothy and all the COA members for their continued support in helping us improve our program.
Thank you, Ashley. I just want to also echo Ashley's comments of gratitude, and both for the process, because it has really guided us to continuously improve our program for both candidates and their current and future students, and appreciate the guidance from Timothy Weeks, our consultant, as well as your support, COA, throughout this process. Thank you all.
Great, thank you both for your, yes, please, go ahead, please.
I know, just echoing Ashley and Nicole, and the guidance that the program has provided for like our PTs and our mentors. That's it, thank you.
All right, thank you. At this point, we offer the public comments. Any public comment at all? All right, seeing none, opportunity for questions and comments from committee members. Okay, seeing none, this is an action item. Is there a motion? Member Morrison.
I move to accept the report from Stella Middle Charter Academy to change the status from accreditation with stipulations to accreditation.
Okay, thank you. So moved. Is there a second? Second by Member Crecia. Any further discussion? All in favor, please say aye. All opposed? My motion carries. So congratulations on the good work of removing the stipulations. Really do appreciate the fact that you are recognizing the efforts that need to be made, and you make the efforts, and moving forward, the program just keeps developing. So thank you so much for joining us and for the work that you've done. We want to thank Ms. Noble, Ms. Colburn, Ms. Garay, and also Dr. Weeks. Thank you again for your efforts. Thank you all. Have a great day.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. That concludes the morning session. One thing I just want to do is looking at item 23. I might as well check it off the list here. Item 23, it was the report of actions taken by San Francisco Unified School District. notifying you that item will not be presented today. It's going to be presented at the next COA meeting in June. Because we do have a 1 o'clock time certain and nothing else in the afternoon we can actually bring forward because they're all time certain and we're not sure we can get them earlier in the day. We're going to break for lunch today, and it's, I think, the longest lunch on COA record. Just don't get used to it.
We do have, hold on a second. We do need to get badges for everybody, right? So we, yeah, so we have that little piece of housekeeping we need to
Sure.
take care
Okay.
of.
So do you, Michelle, what's the best way? Would you like us just to kind of, you want to line up at the door and as we exit, give us our badge?
So we're recessing for the afternoon, right?
Yeah. You want to go recess? Yep. Thank you. We're going to reconvene at 1 p.m. Yeah.
Some interesting choices. Or the building. Yeah. Oh. I mean, if we can turn the mic on, I can just ask Kathy. Is she? Yeah. Hey, Kathy, can you hear me? We're just wondering if we should wait for the others to join before we begin.
I believe my assistant superintendent and the director they're also on the call already.
Okay, they may have hit decline in error to become a panelist, I'm thinking. Though, yeah, if they can try again, that'd be great. Yes, and accept.
All right, hope you all enjoyed an extended lunch, and we're about to reconvene here the second half of our meeting. We're looking at item 16. Item 16 is the report of the site visit team to Bellflower Unified School District. Consultant William Hattrick will introduce the item, and joining him is team lead Jody Swartzfarb and institutional representatives Lisa Azevedo, superintendent, Bonnie Carter, assistant superintendent of instruction and student support services, Tammy Zyla, director of instruction support and improvement, and Kathy Fong, induction coordinator. Does anyone need to recuse themselves? One co-chair McKee, and that still leaves us with a quorum. Okay, good. Oh, Mr. Hattrick, please begin.
Sure. Good afternoon, committee members. The virtual site visit for Bellflower Unified School District took place March 18th through 20th for their teacher induction credential program. The induction program coordinator and other staff were very responsive to team requests for additional information related to their program and accommodating other needs of the site visit team. In addition to all the work the team did conducting interviews, they reviewed evidence provided both before and during the site visit to determine findings on all of the common and program standards. I would like to thank our other two team members who are not here with us virtually today, who worked diligently throughout the site visit. And also we were led by our wonderful team lead, Jody Schwartzfarb. And I will now turn it over to Jody to give you some more information about Bellflower Unified and the findings of the team.
Jody, hold on 1 second. We can't hear you. Hold on 1 second. Okay. So we had static in the building and we think we figured out that, but Jody, we can't hear you. No.
Can you hear me now? Yes, okay.
Yes, we can.
Thank you for your patience. I'd like to begin by echoing William's words. I'd like to thank him for being an excellent CTC representative to work with. It was the first time he and I had worked together. He was incredibly responsive to what the team needed and acted as a very efficient go-between with the team.
Hold on, Jody. Sorry to interrupt you one more time. Sorry about this. We're having a lot of audio issues here. I don't know what that is.
Could one of our other guests unmute and speak so we could see if it's our system?
Hi. That sounds clear.
I'm sorry to say, Jody, it seems like it's still you. I'm going to try again.
Let's try it without the video. See if we can hear you clearly.
Can you hear me now?
Keep talking.
Okay. Third time's a charm. So I'd like to thank my team members. William was very efficient as a go-between between the team and the program prior to the site visit occurring. He was also very supportive with the writing when we got to that aspect of the site visit. Barbara Howard, always excellent to work with her. She's a great guide. Her prior experience was invaluable, and she was very supportive with insights and questions. Carrie
I'm
Sotro,
sorry, Jody.
Yes.
Jody, I'm really sorry to interrupt you. We're still staticky on your end. Is it possible maybe to go off video and see if that might improve the audio? Then I don't know what else we could do. Yeah.
I did close the video.
No, I do see that. Yes. Yeah. What else did we do? Yeah.
I will type do you want me just to type my comments? I will type
No, that might be too long of a process. Yeah, maybe call in. Okay, so Jody, someone's going to, I think Michelle's going to message you the phone number to call and see if you can patch in through the phone. And thank you, everybody, for the patience.
How is this working?
So much better. Thank you.
Excellent.
Whenever you're
Okay,
ready.
so hopefully, great. So to begin with, I'd like to thank the team with which I worked. William Hattrick was a very good support, conveying information between the team and the program prior to the site visit beginning, the actual 3 days, getting information that the team needed, and supporting with writing as appropriate. Barbara Howard, always excellent to work with her and to benefit from her experience. She was a positive guide for the team, supporting with various insights and questions. Carrie Sotro, who was on her first site visit, came across as a complete professional. She was an excellent facilitator in interviews, was very focused, and exhibited a strong desire to learn and succeed. So I'd like to thank all three of them. Moving on to the Bellflower program, Tammy Zilla, kudos to her as the director dealing with an injury and still making an effort to meet what was needed of her during the site visit and being a part of interviews and the report out on the last day. As one of the original mentors in the district some years back, her history and experience is clear in her working with the program today. Kathy Fong, I can't say enough about. In every interview, she was cited as being completely available to any constituency group which needed to meet with her, that she is responsive in a timely manner, complete with information that she shares. Everyone who mentioned her name did so with glowing terms. During the site visit, a few items which stood out to the team were connections that the program makes, both formal and informal, with all people connected to it. The mentor relationships came through as a positive resource. They provide lots of just-in-time support and are available to their candidates at all hours of the day. Something that I personally found quite unusual and unique and fabulous for Bellflower is their connection with other induction programs in their cluster. I tend to think up here in Cluster 2 that we're fairly well connected, but not to the level that Bellflower is with the other programs in the area. And conducting the interview with leaders in those other programs, I was struck, impressed, and wanted to join in with their regular gatherings and how they work together to share information to support their candidates. Another strength of the program is their communication. It's very easy to contact whomever is needed in the program. There are also regular advice and assistant opportunities so that should candidates have needs or questions or issues, they know when they can get assistance on a regular basis. Throughout the ILP, there are also multiple opportunities for feedback to be provided, whether that's from the mentors or program staff to the candidates. I felt that was the first time I had seen such detailed and so many options for such feedback to be provided. And then also on a personal note, I was very impressed with the regular newsletters that the program puts out. So that was great to see from Bellflower. Throughout all of the work, the program focuses on authenticity with a focus on student learning being the driving factor for the program. So the visit went very smoothly, at least from my perspective and the team's perspective, and just would like to offer congratulations to all involved. Thank you.
Thank you. Now invite institutional representatives to briefly comment about the visit. We remind you it's not a time to dispute the team's report, but rather provide any thoughts that you had about the visit. So would anyone from Bellflower Unified wish to offer any comment?
We just were, we felt that the team was easy to work with. William contacted me multiple times before the visit. I felt like I had an opportunity to ask any questions that I had. And then once the team visit started, the team was very professional. Jody was easy to work with, as well as the other two team members. So we didn't have any issues or problems and felt like it was a worthwhile use of our time to look at our program and present what we have.
Okay, thank you. Anyone else wish to offer any comment? All right, not necessary. Opportunity for public comment. Do we have anybody waiting to offer public comment? Nope. All right, at this point, any questions or comments from any members of the committee? Okay, seeing none, this is an action item. Would a committee member wish to make a motion? Motion by, Member Hallis wishes to make a motion.
I move that we accept the report and the recommendation of accreditation for Bellflower Unified School District.
Thank you. So moved. Is there a second? Second by Member Hillis. Any further discussion? All in favor, please say aye. All opposed? Right. Motion carries. Yay, congratulations.
Thanks,
Thank you,
everyone.
Ms. Azevedo, Ms. Carter, Ms. Zyla, Ms. Fong, Ms. Schwartzfalb, and Mr. Hattrick. Thank you all. All right, we're moving on to item 17. And before we do that, as you know, Katrine Kachowski, our co-chair, is not with us today. And so I'm pleased to turn the gavel over to Patrick McKee, who's stepping in. So Patrick, the floor is yours.
Thank you so much. And thank you everyone for your kindness as I navigate the leading of this afternoon's meeting. We are on item number 17, the report of the site visit team to Long Beach Unified School District. Are we ready to present? We're a little bit ahead. We have the representatives here. And do we have Gay? Perfect. Welcome. We're going to get started in just a second when we have everybody. There we go. So welcome. As I mentioned, this is item number 17, the report of the site visit team to Long Beach Unified School District. Consultant Gay Roby will introduce this item. Joining her is the team lead, Dr. Loy Nakwa, and institutional representative Enrique Rick Pacheco, program manager, teacher induction. Does anyone need to recuse themselves? We have member Morrison. Anyone else? Ms. Roby, will you begin, please?
Thank you so much. I must say I'm really enjoying the Hillis and Hallis show for today, or the Hallis and Hillis show to get back and forth.
They're on opposite ends of the table.
Thank you, Co-Chair McKee. The virtual site visit for Long Beach Unified School District took place just less than a month ago, April 8th and 9th. Program coordinator Rick Bochochi and I have worked together for 18 months now preparing this very large urban school district for their accreditation site visit, and it'll be explained in just a second. Equal appreciation is extended to the site visit team that conducted this site visit, Loy Dakwa, Renee Rubio, and Rahele Atabaki. They interviewed 115 constituents over 2 days and came to consensus on both findings for all standards, as well as a recommendation on their accreditation status that will be discussed by our team lead momentarily. But I would like to take a moment to report on what I consider a special circumstance for this site visit. The site visit was originally scheduled for October of 2023, but in the spring of last year, Long Beach Unified School District made a significant program design change that resulted in a lot of minor changes along the way, sort of like a domino effect. Their previous model was to employ full-time teacher induction program, or TIP, mentors who were housed in a standalone induction office and was overseen by a full-time induction program coordinator. In the fall of 2024, the TIP office has been dismantled, and the 8 full-time mentors were reassigned to content area offices that align to their teaching credential. And they were given additional content area job responsibilities, as well as continuing their induction responsibilities. The program coordinator, Rick, was also moved to a new office and given additional responsibilities too. The caseload of 192 participating candidates previously served by these 8 full-time folks were spread out amongst 32 content area coaches, which did include the induction mentors, and had been added to their content area job responsibilities. This site visit took place 8 months into this major complex shift in Long Beach Unified School District's teacher induction program. And while the site visit team was able to find that many of the program changes and components have been completed, some of them are still in transition. The team expressed every confidence that all components will be in place when this program completes the transition. but did find that the district needs some additional time to reach this finish line of transitioning. And I would like to now turn the mic over to introduce our team lead, Dr. Lloyd Dakwa, who will present the site visit team report.
Thank you, Gay. Good afternoon, COA members. My name is Lloyd Dakwa, and on behalf of the accreditation site team of Renee Rubio, Rahele Atabaki, and myself, we extend our gratitude for the opportunity to serve as a Long Beach Unified School District site visit team with Gay as our consultant. I would like to add that during our deliberations, we benefited immensely from Gay's expertise, experience, and professionalism. I want to give her credit for that. Before I get into the report, I would also like to thank the Long Beach Unified School District staff and district leaders for their enthusiasm and support during the visit. In particular, at our site orientation meeting, we embarked on a festive and celebratory environment. There was music online in the room, so we were thrilled to be a part of that. District leadership, including the superintendent, Dr. Jill Baker, and multiple staff members were well represented. Our primary host, induction coordinator Rick Biscocho, deserves special recognition for his patience, collegiality, and commitment to the induction program and the accreditation process. All technology logistical needs were satisfied, and we worked diligently and productively throughout the visit. In order to give our best professional evaluation of the program, the team had 3 online meetings prior to the visit. During the first meeting, we shared our induction professional experiences to become acquainted with each other and to build some level of camaraderie. Following that introduction, we proceeded to scan the organization of program documents on the institution's website to become familiar with its content. After weeks of independent work to dig deeper into the report, we had our second meeting in which we discussed preliminary observations from program reported data and the 2022-2023 ADS report. We also developed clarification questions for the institution, and in the third meeting, we discussed what we noticed and wondered about each common and program standard, documented our preliminary findings in a chart, and submitted additional questions to the program leader. The accreditation website was later updated with responses to each item for further clarification. At the site visit, as you have seen in the report, we had several interviews, and much of what we gleaned from the program website was confirmed. Candidates spoke highly of their induction experiences to include training, resources, and support, and many remarked that they continue to maintain professional experiences with their mentors. One of those highlights was their 3 to 4 day new teacher institute, which significantly addresses the needs of beginning teachers, such as time management, curriculum and instruction, equitable learning environments, and candidates' roles and responsibilities. Given this preparation, it is no doubt that their individual learning plans are carefully thought out, aligned with the CSTP, and are meaningful and measurable. As a result of a thorough examination of the evidence, the team found all standards met, with the exception of Program Standard 4, Qualification, Selection, and Training of Mentors, and Program Standard 6, Program Responsibilities for Assuring Quality of Program Services, which were met with concern, along with Common Standard 3, Fieldwork, and Clinical Practice, which was met with concern. Therefore, the site team recommends full accreditation with a 7th-year visit. The team's rationale for the 7th-year visit is based on the need for time. The team was convinced that the institution has the infrastructure in place for a high-quality program, but needs time to fully implement and assess the shift from a full-release mentor model to an embedded model that is currently about 9 months old. Although the team found evidence that the mentors received support from the induction coordinator, it did not find clear evidence that the blend of content area coaches and induction coaches provide services consistently to the candidates. Furthermore, the burden of training the content area coaches appeared to rest heavily on the induction coaches. Overall, the team had no evidence to determine how district leadership, site administration, and other partners establish criteria for mentor selection and assure program quality under the new paradigm. The institution would be well served to have at least 1 year to establish criteria for mentor selection and to train all mentors in a systematic way to achieve coherence. Nevertheless, I would like to highlight a few strengths from the institution. Number 1, committed institutional leadership. Interviews with the upper leadership indicated a strong knowledge base of the program and dedication to serve and retain new teachers. We found that the district leaders and staff have high regard for its induction program, and considerable efforts are being pursued to recruit, support, and retain a high-quality, diverse group of teachers. Number 2, research-based vision. Housed in the Office of Curriculum Instruction and Professional Development, the program fosters a research-based vision. Currently, the district's initiative of implementing a framework on quality core instruction is aligned with the candidates' ILPs and serves as an instrument for equity-based instruction. Number 3, collaborative and inclusive advisory board. The Long Beach Unified School District's TIP Advisory Board is comprised of a variety of partners, all with unique professional backgrounds to offer their insights on program data and analysis. Membership ranges from former candidates to teacher development staff, mentors, and university representatives. This diversity of opinion lends itself to thorough examination of program data and recommendations for a continuous cycle of improvement. Overall, the team found a functional program that is serving its candidates through job-embedded goal setting and various cycles of inquiry projects for growth in the CSTP. These are coupled with multiple opportunities for professional learning and reflection to bolster teacher efficacy. We are pleased and satisfied with our decision to recommend full accreditation with a 7th-year report for the Long Beach Unified School District Teacher Induction Program. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Dakwa and Ms. Roby, for your report. We now invite the institutional representatives to briefly comment about the visit. We remind you that this is not a time to dispute the team's report, but rather to provide any thoughts you had about the visit. So, Mr. Pacheco, would you like to share anything with the COA?
Thank you so much for giving me an opportunity to share. I would like to show my appreciation to the team. They showed incredible professionalism. They were responsive to any needs that we had, any clarifications they gave quite carefully. I want to also appreciate Gay Robbie, who through the transition really provided insightful and helpful directions that we could take to be able to provide a logical sequence of events that occurred starting this year. What really makes me appreciative is the patience that was shown not only by Gay, but also by the team. There were lots of things to consider in terms of the calculation as well as the scheduling of that many teachers and participants in our program. I would consider our work in progress as something that we are clearly looking at already. We've already started to schedule opportunities for what that vision would look like for next year. I appreciate Dr. Dakwa saying that there is a need for time, and considering the transition that was made, I also want to make clear that we want to provide a quality program, not only for our district employees, but also for the representatives that we call into our program. And being able to provide that evidence will be something that I'm going to once again ask Gay Robbie to be a part of that work as we endeavor to look at how we're going to provide all of the evidence for those findings. So I want to just show much appreciation and thank you again for your very professional demeanor during the visit.
Thank you so much for sharing and for sharing the collaboration with the CTC. We would now like to check to see if we have any public comments. Seeing that there are no public comments, or any questions or comments from committee members? And you said I count 7 seconds, right? All right, this is an action item. Do I have a motion? I have a member Krisha. With the 17th. Thank you. Do we have a second? Do we have a member Leggett? All those in favor say aye. All those opposed say no. Thank you. The motion carries. And thank you, Mr. Pacheco, Dr. Dakwa, and Ms. Roby. We wish you the absolute best.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Now we are still about 5 minutes ahead for item 18, the report of the site visit to Torrance Unified School District. Do we have the district representatives and consultant? Oh, excellent. And as they come in, we just thank everybody for showing up a few minutes early today so we can continue forth on the agenda. I think, is that everybody? We have one more person, I think. We're good. Kara? So for the district, is Kara Heinrich going to be joining us? Yes? Okay, well, we'll wait just a moment for her to join. Oh, look at that, yes. Thank you so much for waiting. We're just going to begin once we make sure we have everybody here who is representing the district. All right, thank you. There we go. All right, we are on item number 18, the report of the site visit team to Torrance Unified School District. Consultant Steph Morgado will introduce this item. Joining her team is team lead Carol Kloss and institutional representatives Kara Heinrich, Senior Director, Elementary Schools, Katie Schleckenberg, Director, Curriculum and Instruction, Lori Nagoka, Induction Coordinator and Lead. Does anyone need to recuse themselves? Seeing none, Ms. Morgado, will you begin, please?
Great, thank you. Good afternoon, committee members. This is the report for Torrance Unified School District site visit. The virtual site visit successfully took place March 4th through March 6th for their teacher induction program. I would like to thank the Torrance Unified School District team for all of their hard work, Karen, Katie, and especially Lori for supporting Torrance through the site visit planning process while they were in the middle of a leadership change. Additionally, I'd like to thank Carol Kloss, our team lead, and the two other site team members that worked with us to conduct the site visit, Allison Beach and Sylvia Luetta. I'll now turn it over to Carol, who will share more information about Torrance Unified, and she will report on the findings from the team.
Good afternoon, everyone. First off, I'd like to thank the Torrance Induction Program for making sure every aspect of the site visit, it was highly organized, and they assured that everything was where it was supposed to be. If we had any questions, they had a very quick response so that everything went smoothly. I'd like to thank our site visit team, especially Steph Morgado, who thank you for your expertise. It was greatly appreciated. And our other team members, Allison and Sylvia, they took time out of their busy schedules to serve on the site visit team. And they were very prepared and ready to go. And that made the site visit go very well. And they're a great team to work with. So our teamwork made this site visit go very easily. And a few things that stood out about the Torrance Teacher Induction Program. The mentors described the program as a lifeline to the candidates. The candidates identified the mentoring support as making a world of difference in addressing their immediate needs and professional growth. The administrators mentioned how much they appreciated the triad meeting to help focus the candidates' yearly goals. The Torrance Induction Program collaborates extensively with all involved constituents to ensure the program is always evolving and improving. And the constituents reported across multiple interviews there are many opportunities to provide honest feedback about the impact and the quality of the program. The interviewees mentioned that the Torrance Induction Program is a rigorous program that has effective systems in place that are relevant to improving teacher practices. And because of all that, the site team has all preconditions were met, all common standards were met, all program standards were met, and the team recommends full accreditation. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Morgado and Ms. Kloss for your report. We now invite the institutional representatives to briefly comment about the visit. We remind you that this is not a time to dispute the team's report, but rather to provide any thoughts you had about the visit. Would anyone from the institution like to share?
I would like to thank our experienced team that came to visit our site, starting with Steph. She just made this whole process so easy. She worked with us step by step through everything. And she's very communicative and prepared. As soon as I sent an email, I had a question, she would answer it right away. And she made sure that we had everything that we needed. Carol was great. She was open, made us aware of things that we should know, and then also was very communicative. And then we also appreciate Allison and Sylvia for all their hard work as well, and for the report that you sent us as well. We just enjoyed reading it, and we're so proud of our program and everything that we've built it up to be.
Thank you for sharing. Are there any other comments from the institution?
Just a thank you from Torrance Unified that I reiterate what Lori said, that we really appreciated the guidance, the communication, and the organization from your team, because it made us be as successful as possible. And as Carol and Stephanie were mentioning, we were in a leadership change, and it they were very supportive. So much appreciated. Just wanted to say thank you.
Thank you. And any additional comments?
I'll reiterate my colleagues' comments and just how smooth the visit went and how supportive the visiting team and staff, everybody. It was wonderful to work with them, and it made this process both helpful and insightful to our team and to validate the hard work that we're doing. I couldn't be more proud of our induction team and the work that they're doing to support our new teachers. So thank you so much.
Thank you. And do we have any public comments on this item? Are there any questions or comments from our committee members? Yes, Member Morrison.
I'd just like to congratulate you on an excellent report. It sounds like a great program that you have going there. So we appreciate the work you went through to present this to us, and keep up the good work.
Thank you. Any other committee members, questions or any comments? This is an action item. Do I have a motion? I have a motion from committee member Krisha.
I move that we accept the report and the recommendation of accreditation for the Torrance Unified School District Professional Services Division.
And do we have a second? Member Morrison. All those in favor say aye. All those opposed say no. Motion carries. Thank you so much, Ms. Heinrich, Ms. Schuckenberg, Ms. Nagoka, Ms. Kloss, and Ms. Morgado. You have a lot to be proud of. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you to all of you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Item number 19 is set for 2 o'clock. Are we good on moving forward, or do we? The team lead? Okay. Does anyone need to take a quick stretch break? Thank you for joining us. We're going to begin just in a couple of minutes. We're still waiting for a couple of people, so we appreciate you being here and joining us this afternoon. Thank you so much for joining us. We're just waiting for one more member of our team to join us so we can have quorum, and then we'll get started, but we appreciate you all being here this afternoon. We have a quorum, so we're going to go ahead and begin. Thank you so much. I'm glad you all can count better than I can. Will there be any recusals? Because that'll affect quorum. All right, so it looks like we are good to go for item number 19. Item 19 is the report of the site visit team to Vanguard University. Consultant Hart Boyd will introduce this item. Joining him is team lead, Dr. Michael Kotar, and institutional representatives, Dr. Jeff Hittenberger, Dean for the School of Education, Dr. Nathan Brace, Program and Accreditation Coordinator for the School of Education. And we established, but just verifying, does anyone need to recuse themselves? We have none. So Mr. Boyd, will you begin, please?
Yes, thank you. Vanguard University's site visit took place from March 3rd through the 5th, 2024. The site visit was conducted virtually rather than in person, and a total of 97 interviews were completed with various constituencies, and the site visit proceeded in accordance with all normal accreditation protocols. Everyone at Vanguard was great to work with, and they were all extremely thorough and thoughtful in their preparation for the site visit. Joining us today via technology and representing Vanguard University are Dr. Jeff Hittenberger and the newly minted Dr. Nathan Brace. So I would like to give him some congratulations on that. Also joining us today is the site visits team lead, Dr. Michael Kotar. Mike was fantastic to work with and was a very knowledgeable and thoughtful leader throughout the process. I would also like to thank team members Stephanie Cerventi and Patricia Marisic for contributing their time and expertise to this visit, with a special acknowledgement for Patricia, who joined the team literally the evening before the visit started. I'll now stop and turn it over to Mike, who will present the findings and the team's accreditation recommendation. Thank you.
Well, good afternoon. I'm happy to be here to report on the virtual site visit at Vanguard University of Southern California at Costa Mesa. I want to thank Hart for all of his excellent guidance and his low-key approach, which kept us on track and gave us the room we needed to do the interviews that we needed, collect the data, and write the report. I also want to, on behalf of the review team, I want to extend a sincere thank you to Dr. Hittenberg and Dr. Brace, and to all the faculty at Vanguard who just welcomed us. It was an extremely collegial visit, well planned. Interviews were on time. They were fully staffed with people we needed to talk to. It was really quite a good visit. I also want to thank the review team members, Stephanie Cervantes from Loyola Marymount University and Patricia Marisic from Cal State Dominguez Hills. They were extremely professional. Patricia jumped in, as Hart said, the night before, got caught up to speed very quickly, and just showed extreme professionalism in being able to step into the role that we needed her in that quickly. So Vanguard University is a private Christian coeducational comprehensive university in Southern California. They have a strong commitment to cultural diversity, racial reconciliation, and gender equality. They serve approximately 2,200 students. They were founded in 1920 as the Southern California Bible School, then chartered by California in 1939, accredited by WASC in 1964, and started offering teacher credential programs in 1967. So they've been at this a while, and they are very well organized. The school currently offers preliminary, multiple, and single subject credential programs and the accelerated ITEP credential program that can be completed along with a bachelor's degree. In planning, they have an educational specialist program that I believe has been submitted to the commission for review, and they are currently planning a PK3 specialist instruction credential program. The vision of the School of Education was represented throughout the visit. It's to equip teachers and educational leaders to bring love and wisdom to classrooms and schools so that students, families, and communities are empowered to flourish. And that was represented by not only the faculty and staff, but clearly by candidates and completers that we talked to. The team made a thorough review of the institutional program information and materials prior to and during the visit. As Hart mentioned, we conducted quite a number of interviews. Information provided by those interviews was very consistent and led the team to the recommendation of accreditation with a high degree of confidence. The program standards for multiple and single subject credential programs were met. The common standards were all met. I would just finish by saying that the review team found Vanguard University's teacher preparation programs to be well-designed, and effectively prepare candidates. And at this time, I'd like to turn it over to Dr. Hittenberg to make any comments that he wants to.
Thank you so much, Dr. Kotar, and it's a delight to be with you. We're very grateful for the work of the review team that did a thorough job. As Dr. Kotar mentioned, they interviewed 97 people in our community, students, faculty, staff, employers, mentor teachers, university supervisors, the whole array, and everybody without exception valued the interaction they had with the review team. The CTC liaison, Hart Boyd, worked with us over many, many months to help facilitate a smooth and informative visit review. And we're grateful to Hart as well, and feel confident that we can continue to do this work that we value so much in preparing candidates to serve students in California public schools.
Thank you, Mr. Boyd, for your report, and Dr. Kotar as well. It sounds like an added thank you to team member Patricia Marrakesh the night before joining for the review. So hope she's watching right now so we can extend our appreciation. This is also a time for any additional institutional representatives who would like to briefly comment about the visit. And we remind you that this is not a time to dispute the team's report, but rather to provide any additional thoughts you had about the visit. So from the institution, anything else you would like to share?
Just like to express our gratitude from the staff perspective. Our staff were an awesome team in facilitating the visit. Of course, we had to navigate the added element of going into Zoom and all of those things. So I'm very proud of the work that our staff did, and on behalf of the staff, would like to extend our thanks to Dr. Kotar and the team, and Hart Boyd as well for all the support. Thank you so much for a great visit.
Thank you. And are there any public comments on this item? Seeing no public comments, are there any questions or comments from our committee members? Yes, Member Hillis.
Great report. The only thing I was curious about was in the design where you have the 4-year integrated program and then the post-bac program. Are those candidates cohorted separately, or do they come together in the credential portion of the program?
They do come together. Thank you for that question. They do come together in the credential portion of the program. So our faculty members are working both with the ITEP students and the 5th-year students in their classes.
Any additional comments or questions from the committee members? This is an action item. Do we have a motion? Yeah, Member Hillis.
See if I can find it. I'd like to make a motion that we accept the report and the recommendation for accreditation for Vanguard University.
Excellent. Do we have a second? Member Krisha? All those in favor say aye. All those opposed say no. Motion carries. Congratulations on a job well done.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dr. Hittenberger, Dr. Brace, Dr. Kotar, and Mr. Boyd. Right. For our item number 20, I think we're going to wait to see if they were going to be available. Do we know if they were able to come in a little bit earlier? we're going to gather back to start. I have a gavel. Can you gavel for me? Well done. I'll have to practice that. All right. Thank you, everyone. We're just gathering back from a quick break, and we're going to move on to item number 20. Item 20 is the report of the site visit team to Tehama County Department of Education. Consultant Miranda Gutierrez will introduce this item. Joining her is team lead Christine Cisco and institutional representative Sarah Smith, assistant superintendent, and Dr. Jillian Damon, director of teacher preparation. Does anyone need to recuse himself? Seeing none, Ms. Gutierrez, will you begin, please?
Thank you. And it looks like Sarah's being admitted to the meeting right now. One second. Okay, great. Well, good afternoon. The Tehama site visit was held virtually from April 15th through the 17th. It should be noted that this also coincided with Rodeo Week in Tehama County. And so although we weren't there in person, we were able to get a sense of the community there. So thank you to the team for telling us a little bit more about that. And really thank you to the Tehama team for welcoming the site visit team and being there to serve. Leading up to the visit, as I was confirming details with Dr. Jillian, her response was always, whatever you need, we're here to serve. And I really think that was evident throughout the site visit that the Tehama team is there to serve their constituents. And I'd also like to thank the site visit team and especially Christine for her leadership throughout the process. So I'll go ahead and turn it over to her so she can tell you about the team's report.
Good afternoon. Thank you for having us. Much like Miranda just said, I do want to thank Tehama County Department of Education and Dr. Jillian Damon and Dr. Sarah Smith for their hospitality, their organization, and their availability. It was absolutely wonderful. And coming back to you, Miranda, thank you for your leadership with all of this, as well as the site visit team. The support and their time and dedication as volunteers was so appreciated by everybody involved in this intense process. So kudos all around in that part. But I'm privileged to present our findings and recommendations subsequent to the accreditation site visit conducted at the Tehama County Department of Education. Our visit concentrated on their educator prep programs, the designated subjects CTE, and the Tehama Teacher Induction Program. They serve 9 counties in rural Northern California over a vast number of miles, which is very significant in the role that their programs play. The Designated Subjects CTE program is really committed to preparing educators for those classrooms, emphasizing pedagogy, diversity, equity, and inclusion. Through meticulously crafted coursework, which is aligned with state standards and adult learning theory, the program really endeavors to equip those new educators with the tools they need to be successful in our ever-changing environment as educators. Similarly, their teacher induction program provides a tailored support to preliminary credential holders through a comprehensive array of induction activities, most importantly, or most highly noted, that mentor relationship for all of the just-in-time support on their campuses. Their teacher induction program serves approximately 200 plus educators across 9 rural counties. And what is so impressive about that piece is the fact that COVID kind of forced our hand into the virtual realm, and Tehama really stepped up to embrace that and use it as a way to improve their services across those 9 counties and that vast number of miles. So their program stays healthy through that flexibility and that continuous improvement mindset. Both programs prioritize collaborative leadership structures, engaging with district management, and employing a really robust coaching model to support candidates through both of those programs. The Tehama staff also goes the extra mile by extending support to educators under various permits and waivers. So they're not just stopping at supporting teachers who are seeking their clear credentials, but they're also making sure that our pipeline is a strong and diverse one, especially in rural Northern California. Their concerted efforts to foster partnerships with local industries and with educational institutions and institutions of higher education enrich the practical training opportunities for all of their candidates. And so then once again, kind of enhancing our workforce, which is such a delicate ecosystem. So in summary, Tehama's proactive approach to program enhancement and harnessing the power of technology and diversifying program support underscores their dedication to excellence, equity, and innovation in their CLEAR programs. Based on a very comprehensive and lengthy evaluation of documents, interviews, and really getting to know the culture, even though it was virtual, we could feel it through the lens, the culture of the program, we recommend full accreditation for Tehama County Department of Education. So thank you for your consideration.
Thank you, Ms. Gutierrez and Ms. Cisco, for your reports. We now invite the institutional representatives to briefly comment about the visit. We remind you that this is not a time to dispute the team's report, but rather to provide any thoughts you had about the visit. Would anyone like to share from the institution?
Assistant Superintendent Smith, would you like to begin?
Hi, good afternoon. I just want to say thank you to the team also, both the accreditation team, but also my team. It has been a journey and lots of changes. We have undergone a lot of changes over the course of the last 2 years. And I think that really showed through within the visit. I am very honored and incredibly proud of the work that we're doing in Tehama County and our region, the regions that we serve. I think one of the things that really impressed me was the number of our members who truly showed up for us as part of this visit. I think there were, don't quote me, but there were over 100. How many folks did you actually interview and speak with?
188.
100, right? I knew it was somewhere within that. And truly a testament of the work that our teacher preparation program and induction program are doing to serve and truly serve our county. And so I just say that very honored to be here, to be a part of this work, to be, when we say that we're truly living servant leadership and our commitment to growing educators in the rural North, we truly embrace that. And so we are honored to be here, honored to be a part of this and have the opportunity to do it alongside our partners across the state. So Dr. Damon?
Yes, I just wanted to thank Miranda. She was an excellent ambassador for CTC and for the COA. There were some times I got off phone calls with her and I wasn't very happy with the feedback she gave me because it forced us to dig deeper and do the work, but she really prepared us for an excellent site visit where we could showcase the hard work we've been doing. And then I'd also like to thank Assistant Superintendent Christine Cisco and her team, who did a very thorough visit and asked really deep, thoughtful, probing questions. And I was not happy when I came into this role last year to have to go through the accreditation process, but it was the greatest blessing because I got to know every aspect of this program inside and out, good, bad, and ugly. And it gave us a chance to get feedback by that reporting cycle last year and implement those things. So we were ready to go into this year, and the feedback from our stakeholders have been tremendous. And so thank you for allowing us to be part of this process. It's been really transformational for us.
Thank you so much for your comments and your feedback. Are there any public comments on this item? Seeing no public comments, are there any questions or comments from the committee members? This is an action item. Do we have a motion? Member Morrison.
I move to accept reports of accreditation, the recommendation of accreditation for the Tehama County Department of Education.
So I have a motion by committee member Morrison. Do we have a second? Member Krisha. All those in favor say aye. All those opposed say no. Motion carries. Thank you so much, Dr. Damon, Ms. Cisco, Ms. Gutierrez. Thank you all for all of your hard work and all that you do. It all paid off. Congratulations.
Thank you.
All right. We're going to move now to item number 21. It's a report of the site visit team to Encinitas Union School District. We're a couple minutes ahead of schedule. Do we have the institution? There we go. Looks like we have everybody here. 1, 2, 3. Excellent. Item 21 is the report of the site visit team to Encinitas Union School District. Consultant Roxanne Purdue will introduce this item. Joining her is team lead Rhonda Munoz and institutional representatives, Dr. Angelica Lopez, Assistant Superintendent, Administrative Services, Ashley Tarkin, Encinitas Union School District Instructional TOSA, North Coastal Teacher Induction Coordinator. Does anyone need to recuse themselves? All right, seeing none, Ms. Purdue, will you begin, please?
Sure. Good afternoon. And for the record, I grew up next to Tehama County, so I'm from that rural region. Yes, I went to the rodeo many times. So with that, the virtual accreditation site visit for Encinitas Union School District took place March 11th through 13th. The consortium of districts that are led by Encinitas USD are also referred to as the North Coastal Consortium Teaching Reflection and Induction Program, or NCCTRI. The program was very enthusiastic and responsive to all of our requests. They were enthusiastic about the visit. They were such a pleasure to work with. In working with the program staff, Ashley Tarkman, the program coordinator, and the assistant superintendent, Angelica Lopez, for a year, I will say that they embraced the site visit as an opportunity for growth and for program improvement. And I always say to our sites, you look for program improvement internally with your board, and you look for improvement and growth with your candidates. This is your opportunity for you to have your opportunity for growth and program improvement. And it was a pleasure to work with them because they really embraced that, and it was so positive. With that, I'd like to personally thank them for that. Next, I'd like to thank our site visit team. I was very fortunate to have worked with these team members before, including our team lead, Rhonda Munoz. The team worked diligently to complete 127 interviews, as well as reviewing extensive evidence. Rhonda was extremely organized team lead, which is a really excellent quality to have in a team lead, let me tell you. And then in addition to that, she led the team in thinking about what she referred to as glows and grows and for the program. And this thought process for the team, along with the program staff's enthusiasm, led to a really positive experience for all as well on the site visit. It left the mindset for the team that to understand that the program had not just areas for growth, but also many areas of strength to focus on. And with that, I'd like to turn the report presentation over to our team lead, Rhonda. Thank you.
Thank you. Good afternoon. I'm Rhonda Munoz, as Roxanne introduced me. And I just want to thank Roxanne, too, for her guidance and support through this process and supporting the team. And that brings me to my team members, Kimberly Campbell and Aaron Davis. I want to thank them because, again, it does take a team to complete this accreditation visit, and they worked diligently before the visit and tirelessly throughout the site visit. I also want to take a few moments just to thank Angelica and Ashley. Thank you so much for your hospitality and your responsiveness, and just, Ashley's got a beautiful smile, so just to see that every day was a great joy. So this team, this site visit, there were many positives to the site and to spending time getting to know the program. Like Roxanne said, this is supporting 5 districts in their area. And, I'm blown away by the different types of schools in the area. Just for example, they're supporting 2 dual language immersion schools, an international baccalaureate primary years program school, an elementary school with a STREAM focus, a farm lab where all district students engage in eco-literacy and wellness-based learning experiences, and a film guild. So it is a very busy area. So I'm going to go into our report. And the team determined that Encinitas, we did a unanimous recommendation of accreditation with stipulations, and I'm going to go into those areas and then kind of summarize how the team came about this. So we determined that Encinitas Union School District Teacher Induction Program, or NCC-TRI, met all general preconditions and teacher induction preconditions. Teacher induction program standards 1, 2, 3, 4, and 6 were determined to be met, and program standard 5 was met with concerns. And for this reason, we came up and we discussed this extensively, was we just were not able through interviews, the documentation that we were able to review, that there was insufficient evidence to support that the program has a mechanism in place to assess candidates' progress towards mastery of the California standards for the teaching profession to support that credential recommendation. And without that mechanism, there wasn't a place for calibration for the mentors to really, and the program to assess the successful completion of the program activities and documentation. Further on, common standards 1, 2, and 4 were determined to be met, and common standards 3 and 5 were met with concerns. And our decision around that was for common standard 3 to be met with concerns was based on a review of evidence. We found evidence of that field work and clinical practices which were effectively implemented. They were very strong, but we were unable to determine that there was consistent evidence of that program evaluation of the candidate progress towards mastery of the CSTPs. And then for common standard 5, being met with concerns, again, throughout that review of documentation, that assessment system in place that assessed the candidates beyond candidates self-assessing themselves, that they met the competency for teacher induction for the CSTPs. So as we discussed these findings to come to our decision, it was really that those areas that were met with concern were interrelated. And we felt like if we were saying one was met with concerns, then these areas were also met with concerns. And like in our report, we recommended that they develop and provide that evidence for a defensible, consistent, and equitable process in place for mentors and that program personnel to assess the candidate progress towards mastery of the CSTPs. And I will say Ashley was on it because she was asking us some very thoughtful questions throughout, and what could that look like? And I know she was already wrapping her brain around it Wednesday morning before our report out, and just, sharing her ideas with us. So I just wanted to go back to that. Ashley was very really asking those thoughtful questions. I know I said that before, but she was very intentional about her questions. As these areas were coming to the surface of concern with the team, she was just right on it. She was reflecting on how she could start addressing them. And then once these areas are addressed, I have no doubt that this program is going to continue to shine, and that mechanism is just going to make the program that much stronger. All candidates and mentors gave high praise to Ashley for her caring, her timeliness, because again, we know as an induction director over 5 little districts in the area, that's a lot to coordinate and a lot to keep balanced. And everybody from the administrators down to the candidates were just enthusiastic about the induction program, how it met their needs for their professional growth, and could not rave about the program enough. So this completes my report as team lead, and I'm open to questions.
Thank you, Ms. Perdue and Ms. Munoz. We now invite the institutional representatives to briefly comment about the visit. We remind you that this is not a time to dispute the team's report, but rather to provide any thoughts you had about the visit. Would anyone from the institution like to speak?
Yes, I would like to begin. Good afternoon, everyone. And I can't thank Roxanne enough for her invaluable support. Working with her for a whole year. At first, I have to be honest with you, I thought, oh my goodness, a whole year. But time flew fast, and we were able to have some laughs in there and get to know each other on a personal level. So Roxanne, thank you, because you were there when we needed you via phone, text, email. You were there 100% of the time for us. So we truly, truly appreciate all of that. We value all the expertise, the knowledge, the time from Rhonda and the rest of the state site review team. Even though it was virtual, I believe we developed a relationship over the short time that we were together, but it didn't make a difference whether it was in person or virtual. So we appreciate, because we know you do this on a volunteer basis. So thank you for all the time that you give to not only our visits, but all the other visits that you conduct. As an institution, we are always in constant looking in ways to improve and make things better. So we were looking forward, to be honest with you, to this review, because how else do you make things better if you don't have someone from the outside looking in, telling you where the grows are and where the glows are, right? So thank you for that, because our whole goal is to continue to offer the best program for our new teachers. And we want to make it exceptional for everyone. So with that, thank you to everyone, and I'll turn it over to Ashley, because she's really the one that does this program for Encinitas and the rest of the districts.
Thank you. I also want to extend a great thank you to the whole team, the site visit team. I learned so much from all of you. And as you know, I value this program, and I don't think there's a more important position out there than supporting our newest teachers. So I really learned a lot from this entire process, and I'm so grateful. Thank you to the CTC for these opportunities to help us grow. And Roxanne, it was such a pleasure to work with you for a year, and I just really value the relationships that were formed, and I look forward to continuing to grow our program. So thanks again for this wonderful opportunity.
And thank you for your comments. Are there any public comments on this item? This is an opportunity for questions or comments from our committee members. Any committee members have comments or questions? We have Member Morrison.
Hi, good to see you all. It's also good to hear people who appreciate the process, even when it might be a less than a perfect reports, that they appreciate the process and the opportunity to grow. So I was going to ask, since the visit, what are some of the things that you're thinking about of implementing for next year?
I'm so glad you asked this question because we have done a great deal with regards to this in our effort to really make our program the best that we can be. And one of our first steps was we already had a progress tracking document, but in order to really make them reflect on the process and to have our mentors really look closely at the ILPs and the actions and evidence, and also to look at our continuum, to look at growth across the continuum with their teacher candidates, we really just added some components to it, looking at the activities that they're linking and describing, do they actually support the goals? And are they making connections in the CSTPs? And are they being reflective about this process? So that was one piece that we have added. The next piece is a formative mid-year rubric that we've created. And I've already had an opportunity to first visit it with my leads, which there is a lead from each of the districts that I work very, very closely with. And we reviewed this document together just to really see if we felt it would accomplish what we are seeking to accomplish, was to ensure that we have equity across our districts as well as a defensible process. And so this This will also be a tool that we will use with our candidates just to show them where they are in the process at mid-year. Are they proficient, exemplary at this time? In addition to that, mentors will be completing a summative. This is an end of year rubric, which is more in depth and really dives deep to ensure that all candidates are making growth in the CSTPs. So we really do value that we were able to see the need for this and then really implement things. I've also had meetings at my mentor meeting where we got to look at it and really together make this document better to ensure that it was indeed accomplishing the task at hand. So we're really excited for next year, and we really feel that we are ready to make these improvements. We have the gears rolling, and they're really in place for next year already. So we're grateful.
Thank you.
And as a follow-up, one wondering I had just in reading the report, it looks like the Common Standard 3 was one that was met with concerns. And when I read Common Standard 3, it's really about evaluating feedback. But I think the concern is the candidates feel like the field, what the candidate's doing versus what the mentor's doing. And so my kind of wondering is, Common Standard 3 being met with concerns, is it because there wasn't a partnership between the two pieces? Is that why it was met with concern? Is it the mentor wasn't involved with it, or is it the candidate wasn't involved with it, or is it a little bit of both?
I'm going to refer this to our team lead.
Yeah, thank you. It was feeling like, I want to say a little bit of both, but mainly the mentor not having that piece where they can go, look, you're reflecting here, but it's not, on this rubric, like Ashley's talking about implementing, it's not getting to this level. It's maybe very surface level, or we're not seeing the connection between this activity that you're doing and how it meets the CSTP.
And I could be off, but Common Standard 3 is about evaluating the mentor feedback, not the candidate feedback. Right? So how is it met with concerns if the candidate isn't?
We were going to the piece of all programs effectively implement and evaluate field work and clinical practice. And that was the concern that arose, was we weren't seeing that evaluation of what the candidates were doing. There wasn't anything to, like, a guide to it that connected it with the CSTPs.
I think that's the part where I got confused, is if it's evaluating field work, that's what the mentor's doing, not what the candidate's doing. And if I'm not the Common Standard expert, but I see maybe there's a concern from the candidate lens, and just for making sure that the institution has a lot of great things in place. I want to make sure for putting met with concerns that actually is an area where there is a concern. Because I couldn't see that connection in Common Standard. I see it definitely in maybe some of the program standards, but that was the wondering I had with the Common Standards.
So I think I'm answering it as best as I can at this time. I want to say it was, again, we were looking at the ILP. There wasn't that connection for us. It was like, okay, yes, the candidate did this, and there wasn't consistent evidence that the program was evaluating what the candidate was doing towards making that progress towards the CSTPs.
Any other comments or questions from committee members?
I just say that if we're talking about evaluation of mentors, then they implemented in the last 2 years a lot of changes in their mentoring system for that purpose. They have a mentor ILP now, like kind of a mini ILP for their mentors. So they have had those, but I think the team was looking at the sentence that that our team lead pointed out when talking about the field experience, and felt that that was connected to the other two.
Okay. And I think maybe that's where the team has more information through that visit. Just from the lens of the report, I didn't see that it seemed like it met a concern for Common Standard 3, and I don't know if that is necessarily our role, because it seemed like it was met, but there was that piece, just that connection that I was trying to figure out.
To the connection, because I'm not on the team, but so the team makes the decision on the standards, and the COA makes the accreditation decision. So I think as you weigh what you hear, that will be reflected in your ultimate accreditation decision, whatever that is. But in terms of the met with concerns, that's what the team found. And I don't think I can say it any differently than how Rhonda has said it.
Oops. Again, I don't want to, as Cheryl said, interfere with the process because this was the team.
Yes.
But in my best analysis on the fly here, as we're sitting here, I'm equating their finding on Common Standard 3 in part with their finding on Standard 5 around having enough evidence that the program has a mechanism in place to assess candidate progress, and then going back to that section of Common Standard 3 that was cited by the team lead that says that all programs effectively implement and evaluate. So I think they're hanging on the evaluation of the effectiveness of these activities, and they're getting it both in Standard 5, and then when we do team training, sometimes we say sometimes it's a little an issue with a program standard will rise to the level of an issue with common standards the fewer programs an institution has, because so if you have an institution with 11 programs, they may only have an issue with one clinical practice, a piece of one program that doesn't necessarily rise to a common standard. But when you've got a single program, sometimes a finding at the standard level can rise to a common standard level fairly quickly. So I'm just making that connection as I'm sitting here in the meeting.
And I want to thank you, and I appreciate that, because for me to vote for accreditation with stipulation, I just want to make sure I understand correctly, because the last thing I want to do is to create a vote or an approval on something if I didn't have that clarity. And that actually really helped it come together for me, and I appreciate for both of you diving into that. Thank you.
I do want to point out that it was met with concerns, as were all of the standards on this one that were found to not be fully met. Well, it's met. There were some current concerns. Those common standards are really packed. Some of them are quite long, and they have to take those elements and tear them apart and say, okay, on this sentence, is it consistently met? Is it inconsistently met? And so as they looked at some of those pieces, as they pulled it apart, they found some to be inconsistently met, which led to the finding of met with concerns.
Any other questions or comments from the committee? And this is an action item. So do we have a motion from one of our committee members? Member Hallis.
Right, I move we accept the report and recommendation of accreditation with stipulations for Encinitas Union School District.
All right, we have a motion by committee member Hallis. Do we have a second? Member Krisha? All those in favor say aye. And all those opposed say no. Motion carries. So thank you, Dr. Lopez, Ms. Tarquin, Ms. Munoz, and Ms. Purdue. Item number 22, and we are right on track, is the report of the site visit to Puck Schools. Do we have the institution here? Oh. It looks like we waiting for one more person. All right, looks like we have everybody here. Item 22 is report of the site visit to Puck Schools. Consultant Karen Sacramento will introduce this item. Joining her is team lead Levon Chastain and institutional representative Trisha Menduetto, induction coordinator Sarah Ballard Wiley, induction coach. Does anyone need to recuse themselves? All right, Ms. Sacramento, will you begin, please?
I will. Good afternoon, COA members. I was grateful to serve as the consultant to the Puck People Uplifting Communities Schools site visit, which was held on March 18th to 20th. The protocols for this visit were all in accordance with the normal procedures for a site visit, taking into consideration the supports needed for our virtual format. The findings were based on a very thorough review of all institutional and program documentation, as well as a very wide range of constituent interviews. I would like to say thank you to the district representatives for all the work that was done to prepare for this visit, for being so proactive and positive all along the way, from the monthly meetings leading up to the visit to just having such an open and collegial exchange and process that made working together with them so enjoyable and ensured a smooth and successful site visit. So specifically, I'd like to acknowledge the tremendous program leadership of Trisha Menduetto, the induction coordinator. And Trisha serves in this role along with the wonderful co-leadership of Sarah Ballard Wiley. So they were just a true pleasure to work with. And along those same lines, I'd also like to acknowledge the team in this regard and their extremely hard work and continual professionalism of each member throughout the visit. Common Standards team member Karen Rock and program reviewer Kim Nguyen. And lastly, I just would like to highlight the tremendous leadership of Levon Chastain as the team lead. She led this visit with grace and calm, and her very deep knowledge of induction and commission standards and the commission accreditation process, combined with her kind and wise guidance, created a very strong evidence-based and supportive visit for all. So I'm going to turn it over to Levon now, who's actually just fresh off another site visit for the commission this week to review the program findings. Thank you.
Thank you, Karen, for saying all of that. And hi, ladies. So good to see you all again. First, I would like to start by thanking the commission for allowing me the opportunity to serve as the team lead for this site visit and to present our findings for Partnership for Uplifting Communities, or fondly referred to as PUC, Teacher Induction Program. I would also like to thank and echo Karen's comments about our amazing team that we worked with, Karen Rock and Kim Nguyen, for their unwavering dedication to this accreditation work during the visit, as well as the amazing, phenomenal Karen Sacramento as our consultant. This was mine and Karen's first time working together after all these years. She had to wait till I retired, and then we got together to work together. It was wonderful. We were able to accomplish so much through this site visit because of her expertise in leadership and guidance. So I truly appreciate the time and effort that she has put into this. And so I'd also like to echo what Karen said. I don't want to miss anyone, and I would be remiss if I didn't acknowledge and thank the wonderful team at PUC. Trisha and Sarah were amazing to work with. They just soaked up every little thing that we said and any kind of suggestion that we made. They were right on it, getting us everything we needed to make the site visit go so smoothly, and they're just so professional to work with. Through this process, their organization, responsiveness to all of our questions and requests, and overall welcoming attitude towards us just made everything go so smoothly and without issue. And I have to say that Trisha and Sarah are the heart of this program. They have only the success of their new teacher candidates in mind when they make any program change or decision. And I can speak for the whole team when I say that we were all so impressed with their organization of program artifacts, the ability to capture all voices within the program, and the very clear positive program impact that they are having. Through this process, the ultimate goal of continuous improvement was always in the forefront of the leadership at PUC, and that made our job much easier. PUC is unique in that it is a charter organization, and I will say most very recently started accepting other surrounding charters into their induction program with absolutely no advertising. These schools are coming to them to ask if they can be part of this amazing program. So it's only by word of mouth. This just speaks to the commitment for excellence the leadership of the PUC induction program has toward meeting the needs of new educators. There are so many things I could highlight regarding this program, but for time's sake, I would like to speak to one common thread that was evident throughout the process, and that's Trisha and Sarah. They go above and beyond to meet candidates where they are and provide the utmost professional support possible. Their dedication to both their mentors and candidates, the organization of the program, and the desire to be constantly improving is what sets their program up for success. Having said all of that, committee members, all common standards and program review standards were found to be met. However, through the interview process, our team discovered that the institution was not in compliance with precondition 1, namely having teachers begin the induction program in their first year of teaching. This was evident within PUC schools and across their partnering agencies, and therefore our team came to the decision of accreditation with stipulations. However, I will say, since the visit, I've had the opportunity to have some after-party conversations with program leadership, and I feel so confident in systematic changes that are in the process, and they will move this program into compliance with precondition 1 very quickly. And I hope that Trisha or Sarah or both will speak to this, but I know that changes are ready to be made. And with that, I welcome any questions the committee might have.
Thank you, Ms. Sacramento and Ms. Chastain. We now invite the institutional representatives to briefly comment about the visit. We remind you that this is not a time to dispute the team's report, but rather to provide any thoughts you had about the visit.
Yes, I just wanted to say thank you so much to Karen Sacramento and Lavon Chastain for truly supporting us. I wish I would have had them in my first year as an induction coordinator, but I got to have them this year, so I'm truly thankful for all of their wisdom and for your kind words, Lavon, and for your support, Karen, through this whole year. I felt like I grew tremendously, as did Sarah. And thank you for the after party. I'm hoping for more after parties. I feel like I've gained a mentor, even though you're retired. So just very thankful for the process. And yes, we have already made updates to our program. I don't know if I could speak to them now or if there are other things on the agenda.
Yes, absolutely. If you please feel free to share. This is your time and your audience, so go ahead.
Okay. So we've definitely taken this stipulation on precondition 1 very seriously. And we've taken several steps to ensure that it's thoroughly addressed. So right away, we provided multiple opportunities for our mentors, candidates, our leaders, and our partners to meet with us and sort of problem solve around this issue of encouraging our teachers to join induction within their first year. We also sent out a survey to our PUC and our partner leaders on our ideas for updating our policies. We met with our advisory board, our CEO, our CAO, to review all this feedback that we had received from our constituents and proposed policy changes. Some themes that emerged from our research is that some teachers felt like they needed time to breathe between their preliminary credential and beginning induction. Another theme that emerged is some teachers were postponing induction, hoping that they could qualify for the early completion option. So to shift sort of this whole culture towards, we want them to start induction in their first year and get that support right away. Moving forward, we're going to require that all of our teachers at Puck schools and our partner teachers who are eligible for induction, they must complete our induction candidate form. And on that form, they're going to tell us whether they're joining Puck induction or they're joining another induction program. So we are setting the expectation that you are joining a program. It's okay if it's not ours, but ours is also awesome. If perchance there's, a reason that they do need to decline induction due to personal reasons or extenuating circumstances, we are going to ask them to fill out a decline to participate in induction form. And on that form, it will state, the CTC and Puck induction require that you do join induction in your first year. By deferring induction, you will not be eligible in the future to apply for the early completion option. Additionally, to ensure that induction is truly supportive of our first year teachers, we've collaborated with our Puck leaders, our partner leaders. We've reached out to other induction programs in our cluster, and we're looking to adjust our scope and sequence for next year, so that our year candidates are only going to be doing one inquiry cycle their first year, instead of two, which is what we had them do, to provide more just-in-time support while also working on that longer-term analysis of their teaching practice. And another thing that we're doing is to advertise sort of the supportiveness of our induction program, because once they're with us, they're like, oh, this is amazing. I should have done this sooner. Just to get the word out, we've collected stories from our past and our present candidates on the positive impact that induction has had on them. And they're great to read, even for our, mentality, like we are making a positive impact. So these stories will be shared with prospective candidates, mentors, and leaders, just to, really shift that culture of like, this is what induction is. And to clearly communicate all these shifts in policies, these will be communicated again to our leaders, our partnering organizations, our mentors, and our prospective candidates in May. It's already on our calendar. It already went out in our newsletter, so we are ready to communicate these changes. And I'm very confident that these steps will thoroughly address precondition 1 and ensuring that our teachers are starting induction in their first year. So thank you for listening to me. I know that was a lot. There's more, but that was a summary version.
Well, thank you for being so proactive on those pieces. Anything else from the institution that you would like to share?
I just wanted to thank the team. I wanted to say we couldn't have done any of those changes without that insight and that feedback and you just giving us that space and time to be thought partners. So we just really, really, really appreciate everyone who came out to support us.
Thank you so much. And do we have any public comments on this item? Seeing no public comments, are there any questions or comments from our committee members? Member Krisha.
Just wanted to say thank you for being so proactive, as it looks like you're well on your way to addressing it. So I just want to say thank you and good job.
And we have Member Hallis.
Yeah, ditto on tackling this right away. My question is, I know we don't hire new teachers anymore over the summer, ready to go day one. What about new teachers you bring on that maybe get hired in January, February? What type of supports are they going to have, and how are these processes going to make sure, mid-year candidates kind of don't slip through the cracks?
Yes, great question. So we do have a mid-year enrollment to support those teachers that need to get induction, and we did have one teacher this year who was hired mid-year. We got him a mentor right away. He's getting the support that he needs. He's our only one, so I reach out to him often to make sure he's doing well.
Any other comments or questions from our committee? And Ms. Hickey has something to share.
Bless you. That wasn't what I was going to say, but I just from a process perspective, I just wanted to mention that as you see that they met all standards. It was the precondition, as I understand it, that was the cause for the recommendation of accreditation with stipulations. You probably remember that when a precondition is not found to be out of alignment at an institution, that we require your procedures are we require them to address it within 30 days. And we usually bring it right back to the next meeting, or they're able to clean it up depending on the time frame between the visit and when they come to you. So I just wanted to put it out there that it is possible that you could either choose to take the recommendation of accreditation with stipulations, or if you feel like they've made appropriate progress, you could also do full accreditation. So I just wanted to put that out there because it depends on how you feel they've addressed it already or
Thank
not.
you for a clarifying process. That
Could I add one thing to that? Would that be okay? I too, I wasn't in their after party, but I have met, with Trisha since the visit, and she showed me and shared with me, and we walked through all the evidence points of what they had done to address this precondition concern. And it's my professional input that they have addressed it and designed program criteria and a program design that does align with the requirements of that precondition. So I just want to share I have been in meetings with her and also reviewed the evidence that they've done.
I appreciate you sharing that, because that was going to be my question. As someone observed the evidence and you answer that, Member Krisha.
Yeah, I was just going to say thank you for the clarification, both of you, because I was looking at the timing and I thought to myself, well, it looks like they're doing this from what we hear, and so why make them wait?
Right.
I just need my thing.
With that, would someone want to make a motion?
Committee members.
Or is there additional comment?
Yeah.
Or is there
Committee members, I'm sorry, could I also say one more thing? Can you all hear me? Yeah, okay. So my after party that I've had with Trisha, also, as Karen said, we went over a lot of things that she could put in place. And I know that she has already done that, because through this process and getting to know them, these were things that Trisha and Sarah really wanted to do from the beginning, since they took over the induction program, but they felt like the culture wouldn't support it, and they didn't feel like they had the support of the advisory committee in that time frame. And so having this really gave her some traction with her leadership and with the advisory. So it was really a huge blessing for them to be able to move forward. And now between Sarah and Trisha, they are really turning the culture for their schools and the partnering schools. So I feel really, really confident. It's my professional opinion also, as Karen said, that this district or this charter is well on their way to making meeting the standard of precondition 1.
Thank you for sharing the value of the accreditation process, Member Krisha.
So just a question. So then if we make a motion, we have to amend the report as well, or you just make a motion?
No, you just make the motion, because remember, the report is just a recommendation from the team.
Was that a motion that you are beginning? Because your mic is live.
Are we ready? I mean, I can't.
Unless there's another member that wants to comment, or okay, it's you.
So I move that we, on the basis of the report, and it says it's green. How about that? Is that better? Okay. So based upon the information that we received, the report, I make a motion that we move for accreditation for the partnership to uplift community schools.
So we have a motion from committee member Krisha. Do we have a second? We have member Lopez. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say no. Congratulations, motion carries accreditation. Thank you for your hard work and diving in right away to take care of those pieces. You should be very proud. Now, are we all getting invited to the after party? Is that where?
You are welcome to come, Patrick.
Well, congratulations.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you,
Thank you
everyone.
so much. Thank you.
Good job, ladies. So proud of you.
Thank you for your hard work and all you're doing for your teachers and their students. It shows. Item number 23 has been tabled, I believe, and item 24 we took care of this morning unless there's additional staff reports. We'll now open for public comment. As a reminder, the COA may not discuss topics presented during this item as they may not have been publicly noticed. Does any member of the public have anything it wishes to say? If so, please raise your hand in the Zoom feature, or we'll wait a moment to see if we have anyone indicating they wish to speak in the chat function. As a reminder, public comments are limited to 2 minutes. Seeing none and having no further business, I adjourn the May 2024 meeting of the Committee on Accreditation. The next meeting of the committee is scheduled for June 7th and 8th, 2024. It'll be hosted at the new building. More information will be forthcoming, and watch the Commission's meeting webpage for details. We have an error.
It's the 6th and the 7th.
It is the, we'll rewind, that is June 6th and 7th, but still at the new venue. So meeting is adjourned.